At 1:07 a.m., you are about to apologize because they turned cold when you said no. 6 hours earlier, someone important asked you to cancel your plans and come over. You said, "I can't tonight." They answered, "Okay," without arguing or accusing you of anything. Then their warmth disappeared. Your messages received one-word replies. The joke you sent was ignored. Even the good night text they never forget did not arrive. Now, you are staring at 3 paragraphs that explain why your boundary was reasonable, followed by one sentence that gives it away. "I'm sorry. I can come after all." Each quiet minute makes the apology feel more necessary. Nothing about the original request has changed. You are still tired, and you still have plans. Yet, keeping your no suddenly feels more painful than canceling everything. Before you press send, follow the last 6 hours in reverse. The most revealing moment comes a few seconds after you surrender. You send it. The typing bubble appears almost immediately. "There you are," they reply. "I knew you'd understand." A heart appears beside the message. The old voice returns. Your shoulders drop before you have even decided whether you feel relieved or embarrassed. The relief arrives before you can question. From the outside, it looks like the conflict ended, but nobody discussed your plans, your exhaustion, or why a simple no deserved hours of distance. The only thing that changed was your answer. That timing teaches you that resistance brings coldness and giving in restores warmth. If the sequence repeats, you may start agreeing before they even need to withdraw. A week later, another request arrives. You cannot help this time either. Your thumb pauses over the word no because you remember the previous night before you have finished evaluating the request. This time, instead of trying to recover their warmth, you decide to watch exactly what makes it return. There is a reason the first night affected you so quickly. In a 2000 experiment, people played a simple online game where 3 players tossed a digital ball. Then 2 players stopped throwing it to one person. Afterward, everyone completed a perception test where a new group gave obviously wrong answers. Excluded participants followed those wrong answers 27% of the time. Included participants did so 18% of the time. A later meta-analysis combined 120 similar exclusion experiments with 11,869 participants and found a large average effect across measures that included belonging, self-esteem, mood, and control. A computer game cannot tell you why someone in your life became cold. It does show how quickly exclusion can shift attention toward acceptance. You stop asking whether your decision makes sense and start asking how to end the distance. That is why this tactic needs no open threat. The silence leaves enough uncertainty for you to blame yourself, while the sudden return of warmth teaches you which answer makes the discomfort stop. The silence alone does not prove manipulation. A 2026 review of 15 studies found several reasons people withdraw. Some are overwhelmed and need to calm down. Others use silence to punish, express disapproval, or regain control. One cold response cannot reveal intention. So you offer a clear return path. "I know you're upset. My answer is still no. I can talk at 8. 8 o'clock passes. At 9, a message arrives. You've changed. You used to care about me." Now the request has vanished, and your character is on trial. You could spend another night proving that you are loyal, or you could treat the timing as information. In 2 studies, totaling 496 participants, people describing the giver side of the silent treatment were more likely to call it effective or control gaining. Targets more often described hurt, resentment, or withdrawal. These were personal memories, not recordings, but they show how differently the same silence can function for each person. Watch what restores respect. Does it return after time and conversation, or only after you comply? It is 1:07 a.m. Again. Another apology is waiting on your screen. But this time, you keep your answer short. I care about you. My answer is still no. I am here when you want to talk respectfully. Then you write down the request. Your answer, what changed afterward, and what made the warmth return last time. On paper, the pattern is easier to see than it was while you were checking your phone every 2 minutes. They are allowed to feel disappointed. You are checking whether basic respect can survive a boundary. If the coldness comes with threats, monitoring, isolation, or fear, seek outside support instead of confronting the pattern alone. At 1:12, you delete the apology. The relationship may recover, or it may not. That decision no longer belongs to the silence on the other side of your screen. For the first time that night, you make the decision for yourself. What was the first thing that changed after you said no?